let us go to the Zoom machine and talk to one of my favorite guests in the history of this program. We met him many moons ago in the AOL days, back in, I think, 2011, when he was joining his friend Gianpiero Volante in studio. I called him Chris Weidman at the time. He was just a baby-faced assassin in the Ring of Combat promotion, a couple weeks away from making his UFC debut, unbeknownst to us, in Louisville, Kentucky, the one and only, the former UFC middleweight champion, the man whose picture is right over there on the wall, the pride of Long Island, who now lives in the Carolinas, Chris Weidman, joining us via the magic of Zoom. Hey, Chris.
What's up, buddy? I appreciate that intro.
We're back, baby.
It feels good to be in this little office of yours. Back to the MMA Hour set. Where's my little pop doll?
Okay, so, well, you have a picture. I mean, even better. I don't know if you can see it. It's on this, maybe the camera angle that you're seeing. Your picture is right there when you knocked out Anderson Silva, UFC 162. July of 2013, Chris Weidman. I don't know if you know that happened, but it's right over there.
I don't remember that. So thanks for reminding me.
So it's there. You will forever be immortalized. In fact, little known fact, all the photos on this wall are new, except for one. There's one photograph that was from the old set that I was on doing this show back in 2017, 2018, and that's your picture. It was just an amazing photo taken by the great Esther Lynn, all elbows, and it's a historic moment. I wanted it up there, so there you go. That's how much I love you, Chris.
I appreciate it. And again, that you mentioned it in the intro, being in there for the first time with John Volante. It was the same day you had Fedor on and his whole entourage.
Yes.
I was so intimidated. I was in the Ring of Combat, and I was very happy that you asked me to come on the show and be able to sit next to Volante, because he was in Strikeforce at the time. But it was definitely a nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah, it was February of 2011, right before the Grand Prix, the first round of the Grand Prix at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And then I do believe, off the top of my head, this is how crazy I am, March 3rd, 2011, the debut, right? Louisville, Kentucky.
That's impressive. Did you do what was the name of that card?
Well,
you are good with this stuff.
It was what happened? What happened to you? You got all blurry on me. Look at you. You've got a really cool camera. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Well, it was UFC on Versus, Martin Kampmann against Diego Sanchez.
Yep.
I was on the desk for that. I was working the desk. I was like a part of the actual broadcast.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know you ever did that.
Oh my God.
I forgot about that.
Wow.
How long ago when was the last time you did that?
Wow. You really have to go there, huh?
Well, you can't even talk.
No. Listen, the last time I've been on the desk, well, as part of the broadcast, 2016, when I was working for Fox. And then they chopped my head off, Chris. They chopped my head off. By the way, shout out to Ian.
That?
No, I do not miss it at all. I like unfiltered Ariel, uncensored Ariel, unchained Ariel, Helwani. I like this version of myself. I feel free, Chris. I feel like these wings are sprouting off my back and I can fly and no one's going to clip them. By the way, shout out to Ian Parker, by the way. Yeah, go ahead. I just want to give a shout out to Ian Parker.
You're very good at talking yourself into believing that. But I think you do believe in it a little bit, because you're really good at positive reinforcement and talking yourself into that. But I don't know. I think it bothers you a little bit.
Okay, so wow, I like this. You're actually stirring the pot here, poking the bear. You think that I'm convincing myself that I like to be on the outside looking in, but in reality, I'm dying inside. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't even think. I think you're beyond. I think you're past that. I don't think you're dying inside consciously, but subconsciously, it is. That still definitely eats you up inside.
No, I can't. I mean, you couldn't be
just a little bit.
No, I mean, you could not be any more wrong. I appreciate you trying to go there. This is good.
Why are you going so hard with all these different adjectives to explain how amazing it is to be?
That's a good question. You know why? Because when you've been breathless, Chris, if I could be real with you, for 3 years, when you've been suffocating for 3 years, you feel like shouting from the top of your lungs that you are free at last. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh, no, I get it. And that's why I need to have you on my podcast.
Well, this is a great transition, because I felt like you were interviewing me for your damn podcast, which is a phenomenal podcast. It's called Won't Back Down. What a logo, by the way, that you have over there. It's really great. Won't Back Down with the great Chris Weidman.
Very proud of it.
What made you? What made you do? And
you
you
can
do
buy
it from
these
this
shirts for yourself right now.
Yeah, where?
This awesome logo T-shirt, and I'm not getting any money from this. All net proceeds go to a Heroes non-for-profit organization that helps wounded veterans get back to normal day life. So it's an awesome
What's it
charity.
called? Is it Hire Heroes, the one that Stan is involved in?
Get a hero? No, what? Now you made me second guess
really,
myself.
here's this guy coming out swinging,
hero.
poking the bear, and he doesn't even know the charity's name. Golly.
All right, we're gonna have to put this in the. I don't know what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to figure out a way.
No, it's okay. Why don't you have your producer? I believe his name is Troy. Work on that, and he could send you the information.
Oh my God, I was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it?
It's very embarrassing. I apologize. I just had surgery. I have tons of anesthesia still in my system. All right, so give me a break. Sons of the Flag.
Okay, not even close.
I went through you have no idea. Listen, I went through so much to try to find a charity to give away money to. And it's so hard. There's so many red flags. You're not allowed to say that money is going to a charity because a lot of times people only buy the T-shirt because they feel like it's going to this charity, and then people will take the money and steal. So I had to go through like so much red tape, and they have my managers talk to lawyers and figure out a way to even just promote that I want to give money to it.
You just want to be a good guy. You want to donate, and they're stiff arming you.
Yeah. Well, I had my buddy Omar Crispy Avila, who had 104 surgeries. He was my second guest on my podcast. And he was the one who recommended Sons of the Flag. And so then I decided to do that. I originally was trying Wounded Warriors, but I think you have to guarantee like $100,000 if you're going to advertise it's going to them.
Wow. 100,000. Yeah. Jeez Louise.
I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. I can understand why. Okay, I want to ask you about the podcast. I want to ask you about your first guest that you ever had on the podcast. Of course, that was Anderson Silva. But first, let's get the big news out of the way. I actually wasn't expecting you to be sitting here. You told me yesterday you would not be sitting in the familiar podcast room now because you just had your second leg surgery, but you're here, and I appreciate that. Why did you need a second surgery?
Well, first, I'm down here because this is the MMA Hour, and I was like, you know what, Mom? My mom's here helping me out. She flew in from New York, so I'm really, really lucky to have her. And so I got showered, I got my boot on, and I got help down the stairs, and now I'm here. I wanted to make sure it was a legit background for you.
Thank you.
And so the reason why I got my second surgery is, so in the fight with Uriah Hall, broke my leg in half, tibia and fibula gone. They decided to put a rod inside the tibia bone, screws up top, screws down low. And they left the fibula bone completely alone. The fibula bone is the small bone in the back. And they felt like at the time, because there was so much trauma, I had a compound fracture, the bones had gone through the calf muscle. They're worried about infection. The main priority was to fix the tibia bone because that's the bigger bone and that's the weight bearing bone. So they thought I was healing up well. They were looking at, the doctor looking at the x-rays. I ended up getting some different doctor opinions on the x-ray, and they just felt like possibly the tibia bone wasn't healing properly. And they recommended getting a 3D reconstruction CAT scan. So we got that done. This all took about 3.5 weeks, and I'm like trying to stay calm because, one doctor's telling me that I'm good. Other doctors are saying, you might need another surgery. And all different types of surgery they were talking about. So there wasn't really one answer. They got the CAT scan back, and basically, to make a long story short, after going back and forth with different doctors from the East Coast to the West Coast, they believed that the fibula bone was non-union. So it wasn't healing properly. It was basically like there was a gap here. And there wasn't really any signs of healing going on there. They were a little bit, they were like kind of off like this, and there was a gap. So basically we decided to go in and plate it. It was supposed to be like an hour and a half surgery, put a plate over it. Conor McGregor had a plate originally from the start, just because his was lower on the ankle and he didn't have a compound fracture. So they just went with it. Basically, so they decided it was supposed to be an hour and a half surgery. It ended up becoming a 3-hour surgery because the fracture was bigger and worse than they thought. And they had to put 2 plates on it, one going up and down, one going across. So,
damn.
I literally have more freaking metal in my lower leg than I have bone at this point. It's crazy. So I'm going to be good to go. I already feel so much better
really
than I did. Yeah. I just feel way better mentally than I did even like before the surgery, just because when I started getting back to doing things and I started going to the gym, I was going through a lot of pain. I was trying to just push through it. I was being told that the more I do, the better, more blood supply, more blood to the area, more work, more time I'm up on my feet, the better for it. So I was going through a lot of pain. And it got to the point where it just really didn't feel like it was getting better. Like every time I would try to walk normal, I would have this crazy aching pain in the back of my calf. And it was just just messy. And the fact that they were saying I was fine, I was just like, man, okay. And I'm just going to keep pushing through. But then we found out that it wasn't actually healing properly.
Knock on wood, are they saying to you, all goes well, like that's it for the surgeries? Because I remember when we spoke the first time after the injury, you said there's a chance, there might be, they have to see how it heals. Now, do you feel like if this continues to go as you're feeling now, that you're done with surgeries as far as this injury is concerned?
Yeah, I think I'm done. Only possible other surgery, I think, at this point would be if the metal on my leg became too annoying, all the plates, they could possibly take that out after the fibular bone is healed. So that is a possibility. Sometimes you have no issue. Sometimes you could have an issue with it. So I just got to kind of wait and see. That would not be a big surgery, apparently.
Okay. Off the top of your head,
like a long recovery.
Right. Off the top of your head, what, I don't know if a lot of people know this. We've talked about it a little bit in the past. So this past surgery, in total now, how many surgeries has Chris Weidman had in his life?
25. This is my 25th surgery.
That is wild, man. That is wild.
Yeah.
You ever have
man.
This time you're walking? I think it was maybe June when I saw the video of you walking. Was it June? You had the injury in late April. It's June. You're walking. Holy smokes! We thought you'd be, on crutches for months. And now, okay, I know you say you're feeling pain, your gym stuff, but like the news that okay, I have to go under the knife. And then the idea of like that recovery and being at the hospital again, like how did you deal with that? Because it's a setback in some respects. Did you feel depressed? Did you feel I'm going to get through this? How did you internalize that news?
Going into the second surgery?
Yeah.
How I feel about
because it felt like you were turning the corner there for a second and then there's a bit of a setback.
Yeah, I think the hardest part was being in limbo for that 3-4 week period where they were kind of like some doctors were saying I should get a surgery, some weren't, but we had to get a better like X-ray through that CAT scan to really find out. So that just took longer than I'd like to, and I just wanted to know one way or the other what the hell the deal was. That was tough for me to deal with, and then so going through that last surgery of mine, obviously breaking my leg, and then everything that went with that, the pain, and then the physical therapy afterwards. That was the most painful thing I've ever been to in my life. I've had like neck surgeries, shoulder surgeries, hand surgeries. I've had some bad surgeries. There was nothing even close to the pain I was dealing with after that. So going into another surgery, I honestly was scared. I did not want to go through that type of pain again. And thank God it wasn't even close to the same type of pain. I guess because of how traumatic that injury was, just from that kick being so explosive over Uriah Hall's leg, that really just was so much damage. There was just so much damage from being stabbed from the inside out, with my jaggedy bones going through the skin, and I guess everything that happened with the surgery. It was just super, super painful. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and so going back into another surgery where they're going back into that area, I was worried. But this has not even been close to the same pain. So I'm grateful for that, but it was scary.
I was telling someone about you recently and about the injury that, a lot of people heard about it who aren't MMA fans. And the question they asked me was, which is obviously impossible for me to answer. So wait, he wants to keep doing this? Like he's working to actually go back after that? And after that kind of injury, do you still want to keep doing this? Like, do you obviously want to get back to 100%, but like the idea of fighting again, this still intrigues you.
Yeah,
it still interests you.
I love fighting. I love competing. It's what I'm best at. I love going to the gym. I love, sparring and working out the guys and doing all the different, competitive stuff on a daily basis. It's what I love to do. And listen, if my body was to the point where it was like, all right, you can't do this anymore, I'd be done. If I felt like I was going to the gym and going with top guys and I just wasn't able to do the things I used to be able to do and they were beating me, I wouldn't just go into the cage to collect the paycheck and get beat up. I feel great. I felt great before this last fight. I felt amazing. I felt like, I'm the best in the world, and I was ready to have some big moments. And so I'm going to do everything I possibly can, taking day by day and, day at a time to get back to that spot. And I'm just going to try to control all the things I can control. And when I get back in the gym and they say my leg is fully healed, and I'm able to do things the way I was just doing it, pre-April, I'm 100% fighting. And right now that's where my mind's at. But if for some reason I get back on my feet and they're like, hey, this is the best it's going to be, Chris, and I'm not able to do the things I used to be able to do, I can't grapple like I used to, and I can't strike like I used to or move like I used to, I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm not gonna go in there and just get embarrassed. So yeah, unless I think I'm the best in the world, I'm not gonna fight.
Does that worry you? Do you even allow your mind to go there or not yet?
No, no. I'm honestly just getting to the point where I was walking before this last surgery. I know I was having pain moving around. I still feel like it's going to be there. With this fibula being fixed, and everything healing properly, I think I'll be right back to where I need to be, and I'll be able to deal with anything I need to. I'll kick someone in the head. I'll kick someone's leg again. I'll let them kick me. I don't care. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. But that being said, if my body's not responding, if it's something that's impossible to do, I'm not just going to be going in there to get beat up. I'm trying to have some amazing moments. I'm trying to create some great moments, and I really believe I have some great moments left in me inside the UFC. So that's where my head's at, and I'm just going to take a day at a time and get through this and stay positive. Yeah.
Zhang Weili recently did an interview. I don't know if you saw this, where she said that she gave you a fist bump right before, and then seeing you guys, I think, were in the same locker room, and then she gave you a fist bump, and then she sees you get injured, and then she's next, and she said that it messed her up in her fight. You saw that?
Yeah, I gave her the bad juju.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hanging out in the locker room, and everyone, when you're in the locker room, you got to give people good energy and good vibes. And yeah, I remember her, give me the fist pound right before I went out. And yeah, I mean, listen, that was a super traumatic moment for me, and I think anybody probably watched it, people in the stands and stuff. It wasn't. And people want to compare. I'm guessing you'll probably even get to this, but with Conor McGregor, his was like kind of over time, slowly happened, and then they stepped back and it broke. Mine was, we weren't even sweating yet. There was no adrenaline going. I was fresh. It was the first strike of the fight, full force, everything I have, and it was traumatic, I think, for everybody to see that happen. So listen, I think it would probably mess with anybody a little bit, but that being said, you don't want to make excuses like that. I'm sure Rose, I'm friends with Rose. I love Rose. I'm sure she was upset when she saw me do that, but you got to get right back. You got to get right back to getting in your own head and being ready for your own fight. But
it is an interesting point. It's actually one that I mentioned on the night, different than the Conor fight, which obviously didn't happen at that point, or the Anderson injury, which was like the Conor fight and the Anderson fight. That was the last thing, right? Like the night ended. And even for me, and I'm not competing, but sitting at home, it was like, wait, okay, so now we're just moving on to the next fight. In the past, we've seen these moments in the main event. Now we have to move on to the next fight. I can't even concentrate on this. And so to hear her say that, and I know some people will be like, oh, you're making excuses, blah, blah. No, that makes total sense. She was just in the locker room with you. She gives you, a fist bump. She's about to defend her title. You're the previous fight. It's totally understandable, in my opinion, for it to rattle a fighter who's going out 5 minutes after you're being stretchered out. It actually made total sense to me.
Completely understandable. And I'm sure she's being asked questions on why, and she's trying to figure out reasons on why she lost. And that 100% was something that was in her head and something that she thought about. It wasn't a positive. You want all positive vibes, you're walking out, there's a lot of negative thoughts you're trying to deal with. And to have to deal with something like that definitely sucks. And it's not like she's lying, saying that rattled there. I believe her 100%.
And so what's interesting is you have you're a very positive guy, way more positive than I am or will ever be. And so there you are at home. You're not
super positive.
I'm the least positive
especially about not being on the desk anymore.
Well, that's different. That's me trying to convince myself. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Right.
I'm just
Finally figured it
joking.
out.
I'm joking. Listen, you make this podcast while you're at a commission. You go with the name Won't Back Down, which obviously is kind of the title of your career. You walk out to that song. It's one of those songs that will forever be linked to you. There's a few guys who have those songs that are forever linked to them. But also the sort of impetus of it all is like, you won't back down. Like, you're literally talking to people who have overcome things. It's a brilliant idea. How did this idea come to you?
Well, I think I always had a interest in, just conversation and talking to people. And the podcast thing was kind of always in the back of my mind as something I would like to do. And then, after that injury, knowing that I was going to have a lot of time that I had nothing going on, and I was going to have to fill my mind and my time with something valuable and something that was positive. I thought, what's better than, talking to other people about, different setbacks that they have had in their life and ways that they have overcame it while I'm dealing with, everything that I'm dealing with. So it was a way to inspire me. And then also I know like a way to inspire other people. I mean, I think that's probably one of the things that, a lot of fighters, me included, you don't say as much, but like really the goal of this whole thing, for me from the get-go is to get big enough to where you can inspire people, and, create a better world. And so the fact that I'm able to talk to different people with my platform and create a podcast and just chill and have a relaxed conversation with different successful people that have had setbacks, which is pretty much anybody, everyone's had tough times. I just give them an outlet to talk about it. And it makes me feel better to hear other people having issues. You don't feel so alone. And it's been awesome so far. I really enjoy doing it. And I actually, I had to take 2 weeks off with the surgery and this week. But I really look forward to getting back to it.
And your first guest is none other than the guy you'll always be linked to, Anderson Silva, who suffered the same injury. I mean, it was a perfect booking. As someone who has to book his own show each and every week, I can respect a good booking. That was the perfect way to come out. How weird was that for you to speak to that guy who you knocked out and then had the injury? I mean, like the whole thing was just amazing. How weird was the actual conversation for you?
So originally I saw he came out on Instagram or on social media and said some really nice things, prayers out to me and my family. It felt really awful. And then his management team reached out to my manager team and he got on the phone with me, got my phone number and we spoke. And, I was in the back of my wife's minivan. I was in crazy pain. I might've been like 3 or 4 weeks out. And here I am talking to pretty much my nemesis, someone that, obviously I beat twice, but even though I beat him, like people hated me for beating him. He was the GOAT, and the way it happened, both times people weren't really happy with, they just, couldn't really wrap their head around. So it was always kind of like a thorn in my side too. And I'm like, you know what? After talking to him on the phone, he was just so awesome about it. He made me feel so much better about my injury and where I was at. I was like, I got to get him. I want other people to experience this conversation because it's helping me so much. And I think it could help other people. So that's pretty much why we decided to have that podcast. But it was like nerve wracking. It's the first time I'm doing a show. It's with Anderson Silva. We didn't have the best relationship. We'd done tons of press conferences and different autograph signings together. And we kind of always, we were just very competitive and neither one of us wanted to lose. And so there was always weirdness between us before each fight and after the fights. So it was weird to all of a sudden, be there talking to him. But it really I think made me a better person, the way he was able to let go of losses. I know what it's like to lose, it's not the easiest thing to want to talk to someone that you lose to, and to, give them a platform with yourself. So it was he's just a very humble, great human being. And now I'm like a huge fan of him. I honestly, when he just fought Julio Chavez Jr., he looked amazing.
So good.
I don't know what happened to Logan. We're going to go on Anderson Silva talk here, but he looked so good in that boxing fight. He made 180 pounds.
Yeah.
So lowest he's ever fought in, I don't know how long. his footwork, his motion, his taunting abilities, the way he made a world champion boxer look out there. No MMA guy has ever even came close to doing that while crossing over to boxing. I was begging. I saw that they were talking about Logan Paul fighting him.
Yeah.
I was dying to see that because Logan Paul will get destroyed by Anderson Silva. Now I see he's fighting Tito Ortiz. And I just know he's making great money, and it's a great time for him to be in the boxing world. And I'm happy that he's, doing what he loves and able to capitalize on it.
Why did you feel the need to apologize about 168 to him?
Well, because the pain that I went through and the pain that I was going through at that time was excruciating. The pain, not just on me, but my family. The fact that, I couldn't do anything on my own. Everyone was just doing things for me. I hate that. It was honestly terrible. And when we fought and his leg broke, I felt terrible at the time. I did. I tried to, call him the day after, get in touch with him through Ed Suarez. I know a lot of people they like to clip the part of when I break his leg and my arms go up in the air and I start circling around the octagon, and then they clip it as if I was happy and I knew that his leg broke. And to clarify once again, watch the whole damn thing, because I broke his leg. I had no idea I broke his leg. I've never even seen that before, that someone's leg is, going to break like that. It didn't occur to me that happened. I just thought he got hurt, because when you do check a leg kick, which I was working on a lot, because if you watch the first fight, he did kick the crap out of my legs. I just thought I checked it good enough. I thought I did. At that point, we're already around the half in. I was doing good. I already dropped him once and was, beating him from the feet to the floor. I just thought it was just too much, and he went down. He was in pain, and the ref stopped it. I didn't realize his leg broke in half. So I circled around. Then I heard this screaming going on. And that's when I went over to him and I saw his leg being held, he was trying to hold his leg together. And that's right away. I was like, man, I felt awful. I went and got his cornerman into the octagon because the security guards weren't letting them in. And I'm like, bro, this guy needs somebody around him that actually he knows, and I was trying to get them in and whatever. I felt terrible. But that being said, as bad as I felt, weeks went on, months went by, and I wasn't thinking about it every day. I wasn't really thinking about the recovery that he was going through. It was hard to empathize with somebody when you never went through something like that. I had no idea. So the fact that I was actually going through it, now I had an idea and I could empathize, and I felt terrible. And one of the thing that I apologized about, which is something that he thought was stupid and didn't think I should apologize for, but I felt like I just needed to get off my chest because it did bother me, is that I was champion, and then I'm doing autograph signings, I'm doing appearances, and all the fans want to take pictures with me. Now I just broke Anderson Silva's leg. Everybody wants to take a picture of me with me checking their leg kick, and that's like the fun thing that they want to do. And for the majority of it, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's disrespectful. But over time, I'm like, you know what? All right, here we go. Go ahead. Throw the leg kick. And I took some pictures like that. Not that I even seen any surface or anything, but I knew that I did. And it bothered me that I even took a picture like that, because the fact of knowing and understanding what him and his family went through after that, it was different to me. And then I just felt terrible that I even made any type of joke about it.
What a bizarre thing to ask someone. People actually asked you to do that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
What?
Of course.
That is the weirdest thing. Who would want to do that?
Bro,
a lot? Like more than 5?
Oh, bro, tons.
What?
Tons.
That is so strange to me.
Tons. I'm sure there's listeners here, MMA people that have asked me.
Oh my God.
The majority of them I told no.
I could see them maybe asking you to sign the picture, like the famous picture or whatever. I could see that, but to recreate it, I'm sure you have to sign the picture as well, right?
Yeah. Pictures, whatever. It just depends. I mean, I'd be out random places, and that's one of the things people, instead of just doing the picture with the fist up, it was they wanted to pretend like they're getting their leg broken.
Jeez, that is horrible. That is just very, very weird. What a strange thing. So in your mind, perfect world, have you even allowed yourself August of next year, September of next year? Like, do you even allow yourself to think of a month, or is it way too early?
It's still too early. I'm going to take a day at a time. I'm going to get back as fast as I possibly can, but being smart about it. And we'll see. We will see where we're at. I don't think this is going to take as long as people think. I'm staying in shape. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to stay, work no matter what. I'm this morning stretching, and yesterday I was working out. I mean, I'm trying to do as much as I can to stay in shape. My weight, I'm keeping low. I'm on good diets. And I really think, I don't know, maybe like 3 months I could be back in the gym feeling great.
Wow.
So, yeah, because my tibia bone has now been healing since April. And that's really the biggest deal. That's the biggest issue. The fibula bone is not as big of a deal. Hopefully 4 weeks I could start actually, putting weight on it without a boot. And next thing I know, I'll be up on my feet working out, boxing. And then eventually I'll get to kicking probably, a month or two later, and I'll get right back into it, man. Yeah, so I'm going to come back, man. And I feel like it's going to be an awesome splash. I think it'd be inspiring for people. I want to fight someone good. And I want to just create an amazing moment.
Well, this is the scene that I'm going to put out there into the universe. Let's say fall of 2022.
That's too far.
Okay. I was just trying to be a little conservative. Summer 2022.
Spring, summer 22.
Spring, summer. Okay, wow. Spring, summer 2022. The brand spanking new home of your New York Islanders, Belmont Park. Main event, the return, the homecoming. Don't say you want to fight in Charlotte or something like that. The return on the island.
There you go. Back down.
No, I won't back. And here he comes, the pride of Long Island. The pride. What was the name of the town that you went to school? Baldwin, New York. I mean, he'd been through so much. Hurricane Sandy and the shoulder and the late notice and Damian Maya and the towel sticking to him with the static and Anderson Silva. Everything that this man has been through, they've counted him out time and time again, and he is going to walk through that curtain in front of his own people, in front of the own crowd. Long Island, New York, Belmont Stadium, home of the Islanders, main event, live on ESPN. Christopher J. Weidman walking through. No, I won't back down.
Look at the armpits.
No, I won't back down. Chris, I love you. You're the man.
Love you too,
Thank you for doing this. God bless.
That was awesome. Round of applause. Thank you so much. That's going to happen. I appreciate it.
I see it. I feel it, and I believe it. Best of luck to you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate it. And take care, buddy.
All right, there he is, the one and only Chris Weidman joining us, the legend, the former UFC middleweight champion.